What pro tip would you like to give to the opposite sex? You don't have to share the same hobbies as your partner, just as long as you appreciate their enthusiasm about it and respect the time they dedicate towards it. This really goes both ways. And just because one loses interest in a hobby you bonded over doesn't mean they have lost interest in you or spending time with you. I'm about to come does not mean change the rhythm. It means keep doing exactly what you're doing until I to come FFS. It's also a broken command code that makes males come within 30 seconds. Don't play hard to get. Also, sometimes your subtle hints are too subtle. Guys like me have such low self-esteem that it's easy to think you were glancing at someone behind me. The entrance is further down than you think. By like a lot. Like you haven't even passed my balls yet. Your fragrance should subtly enhance your presence, not ominously warn of your impending arrival. Edit. Many have suggested the fragrance is better implied than announced, quote, which I believe was from someone famous in the fashion world. It was certainly my inspiration. I took some artistic license. Thanks for the gilding. You're too kind. Perfume should be discovered, not announced. And that goes for both genders. Stop rubbing the klets so hard. Quit mashing the doorbell. I said come in already. Not a pro tip, but ladies, I don't care if I see your asshole during doggy. I'm too busy clapping cheeks and making sure you enjoy it. Even if you think it's clean. Wash it again. My glasses? No, Dumbo, he's talking about lettuce. Do not be embarrassed to use the restroom before bedroom activities. No one wants to pretend they can't smell that smell. Excusing yourself to wash is never going to be an issue. This goes both ways. Edit. Thank you for the awards. These stories are great. Both ways. Front and back. This. I hate being mid-action and get a whiff of unclean. I used to get UTIs a lot until I had the talk about taking the boys and his buddies to the car wash. No vaginal after anal anything. You will give an awful UTI if you do this. No double dipping. If I'm wearing a button-down shirt and we are undressing each other, remember to unbutton the sleeves before you try to take it off. You're supposed to do your own sleeves while they go down the front. Enthusiasm is sexier than anything else. Giving a blowjob is 50% skill and 50% acting like it's the best part of your day. Just like that Fort Minor song. Be active. I don't want to duck someone who's just laying there. So remember, kids, necrophilia isn't just boring. It's also a crime. Please don't finger girls like you're digging for change. And cut your fingernails. Talk to the guy you like instead of waiting for him to talk to you. Kiss the guy you like if he isn't making the move fast enough. Tell the guy you like what you need before it becomes a problem. Edit. Thanks for the silvers. I'll toss one to my witcher. And girl. Can confirm this advice is solid. We do not control unexpected bonus. They surprise us just as much as they surprise you. Edit. Holy heck, a golden 24k upvotes. Thanks. God, I hate it when the wind blows at just the right angle with just the right amount of force. Makes shit awkward. Oh, that's why it is called a stiff breeze. Wash your ass. Soap your crack, or don't come back. Girls, give guys more non-sexual physical attention. Head kisses and cuddles and hugs from behind. Touch us more. Head pats and treats. You're joking, but I convince my boyfriend to leave the house by promising him that I'll make him mac and cheese and play with his hair. My clit is not a nub you need to sandblast. You bring a sandblaster to bed. I guess I'm vanilla after all. Probably mentioned, but don't be playing hard to get. Guys will either be turned off or just think you don't like them and give up. If you're in relationship, living together, sex can be initiated hours before through just the slightest physical interaction. A brief touch as you pass each other in the kitchen. A hug just for the sake of a hug. Subtle stuff like that. Passion. Really, my partner and I will just be chillin'. Maybe even bored as duck. Quick hug and suddenly something snaps, and we'll lunge at each other. It could be once a month. Or multiple a day. Passion's weird and fun like that. Guys, please moan. It's not embarrassing. It's hot. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Also, why is this my most upvoted comment? I don't understand it. For whatever reason my GF seems to agree. But I feel like I must sound like a dying chimpanzee. Sometimes we just want to be the little spoon. It would be nice if girls made the first move sometimes. It'd get incredibly tiring always being the one to initiate. Female here. When you're going down on us and we're about to come, don't go faster or harder or change anything you're doing. Just keep doing the thing that got us to the point of coming. Things get hypersensitive down there, so it's easy to overdo it in those moments and kill it. Talk about what you like in bed beforehand. Tell me how I can make you feel better than good. Be open and honest about what gets you going. And let me get you there. I want to make you feel good, so tell me how to get there. Unless you prefer I stumble around in the darkness. In which case, tell me that too. For the women out there, in most occasions you don't have to be worried about telling a guy you like him. We are starved of that kind of thing, and even if we don't like you back, the fact that you said that will probably boost our confidence for the next 10 years. Show interest, not even sexually, just showing genuine interest in me as a person is often enough to make me fall for you. Don't hit on people while they're working, especially if they're in any kind of customer service position. We are literally being paid to be nice to you. It doesn't mean we wanna bang. Even though I may look like it, I'm not a homeless sexual predator. I'm just a it guy. This applies to both sexes. Don't play games. Be honest about your intentions with whoever you're with. This applies to both sexes. Play more games. Board games are a great way for everyone to have fun. If you find a beautiful individual, smart and funny, don't instantly assume they're off limits. They could be quite lonely. Applies to both genders. Damn, this applies to me for sure. The amount of times my friends have told me I had a shot with someone after I've totally dismissed them as too good for me or out of my league. Solution: always ask anyone you are remotely attracted to. There's a lot of fear around asking people out, but realistically it's only going to matter if either you have a strong pre-existing relationship, which might change, and if that is the case, you probably know the answer before you even ask, or if you are asking it in a really creepy way, just ask simply and politely, hey, do you want to go out sometime? Worst case scenario, you get a no, and are able to move on to the next person. The anxiety you feel is irrational, so long as you can learn to move on from rejection, which you will only learn to do once you start facing it. The side effects of not asking and living a life of lonely failure because you were too scared to ask is always going to be much worse than the side effects of asking, which at most will lead to temporary disappointment or embarrassment, both of which you will completely forget in the fullness of time. It gets easier with exposure. The risk/reward is always going to come out in favor of asking, because there are no real consequences to failure. Don't accept drinks from strangers. I'm gonna just duck and say it as a dude, I would like to get flowers and chocolates from a woman. I, a straight dude, once got flowers from a random guy in a park, and I shit you not, I was so ducking happy that day, it made my ducking week. Right then I realized why women love that shit. Random dude will always have a place in my heart. Please don't smack my vagina or rub my clit like a damn DJ. Ouch. Some men, like me for example, find all sizes of boobs and ass nice. To guys, we also love when you moan and make noise during sex. Obviously not over the top, but it's nice to hear you enjoying it as well. Let them decide if you're in their league, not you. Don't lie to me, whether or not that hurts how you think I think of you. It doesn't. If you can't tell somebody you care about something without them dropping you, they don't care about you. Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be. Your parents were filthy junk traders. Sold you off for drinking money. They're in a dead pauper's grave in the Jakku desert. You come from nothing, you're nothing. But not to me. Guys, keep a trash can in your bathroom if you ever expect her to come over a second time. Managing her period is hard enough without having to come out and publicly ask you where you want her to dispose of her trash. No girl wants to walk that shit to the kitchen. Edit ladies. Take your trash out with you when you leave. The guys are rightfully disgusted by what they find weeks later in the lined, leaded can thief all committed to get for you, but that otherwise rarely gets used. Thank you for the award, kind stranger. I don't know how you like it, so just say it. Edit. Didn't expect this to explode. Too many creative answers. Also thank you for the awards. Communication is my kink. Chivalry is nice, but don't overdo it. We can tell when you're trying too hard. I had a guy nearly knock me over once trying to get to the door before me, so he could hold it for me. Edit. Wow, this sure did get a lot of attention, lol. For those curious, the other reasons for him not getting a second date were because he was pretty damn off-putting during the date. I met him online. He seemed pretty normal online, but when we met he was dressed badly in clothes that were too small and not age appropriate. He was 37. I was 24. He tried to hold my hand while we were walking from the car into the restaurant, which I politely declined. We get into the restaurant and he tries to hold my hand as we are walking to the table and I tell him no again. When we got to the table we started talking and he was talking way too loud. He started telling jokes and they were dirty unfunny dad jokes, which I didn't mind. The only thing was he was saying them way too loud. I asked him to stop because it was making me uncomfortable and he wouldn't. He just told me I shouldn't care what people think and continued. So I just paid for my coffee and left. It was too much to deal with. Don't bring your ducking bachelorette parties to our gay bars. Damn it. Good god, man. The wood girls are the worst. I once had a drunk girl stick her hands in my pants and grope me. Get the duck off. Just because I'm safe doesn't mean I'm an open target for harassment. Don't hint at anything. Period. We won't understand what you're trying to say, or we will understand. But we ignore it because we don't want to look like a creep. Just straight up tell us what you want. If you did it to get her attention and make her like you, she expects it to always be part of your relationship. Whining and dining, romantic gestures, back rubs. When it stops we feel like you are no longer interested and it hurts. Edit. I'm not saying love is transactional. When you start a relationship and do certain things to show your affection and then stop, your partner will feel like you do not care as much as you used to. I would imagine most men feel the same way as well. I usually see both parties kind of let the honeymoon phase fail away. One partner slows down on the flowers and dinner, and the other partner slows down on physical intimacy. Both parties are likely hurt enough to stop trying, and it fizzles from there. It's okay to be single. Being alone doesn't suck that badly, and everyone asking you why you're single can shove it. This advice goes to those in a relationship that think being alone would be worse than those that are single and feel pressured to not be. It's worth it to wait and find someone you're actually happy with, even if it's only for a night. Pretty sure this advice is good for people of whatever gender, but so is most of the advice I've seen in here. Edit. Okay. Didn't expect to come back to this blowing up. Can't respond to everyone. But here's a clarification. Yes, being single can suck. I should know. I've never been in a meaningful relationship my entire adult life. I know what it's like to deal with that. This post isn't for people like us. It's for those people that are in shitty relationships but don't want to leave because they are scared of being lonely. For those people that feel like they're being pressured to keep getting into relationships that they don't want to be in because people won't leave them alone. And for those people that don't even realize being single is actually an option. Believe me, I know all about how much it sucks to be single for years at a time. I've been single for over a decade myself at the moment. But I've also got friends in toxic relationships that are terrified of leaving because they'd rather deal with the abuse than go a week without someone to come home to. And I've got friends that have went from person to person and have never had the chance to define who they are as a person without ever giving themselves the chance to figure out who they are as a person without someone else to define themselves by. This post isn't about judging people, and I'm sorry if it came off that way. This post is about letting some people out there know that they have options. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.